So my talk was primarily about some of the advantages that our customers derive when they think about new architectures. And one example of a new architecture is a convergent architecture. And by that we mean thinking about things like packet, as well as OTN and DWDM more holistically, as opposed to separate functions in the network that might, in fact, necessitate different organizations, different processes, and different ways of operating a network. As carriers think about converging solutions, they can think about technologies like new ROADM technologies that offer significant flexibility in terms of how networks are built today, that can provide them with a future-proof network down the road that can accommodate, for instance, new modulation schemes that might take more bandwidth than existing modulation schemes. And so the notion of having these colorless and contentionless omnidirectional flex spectrum ROADM infrastructures can really simplify the way carriers think about networks today and in the future. And you combine that with modulation schemes that exist today like QPSK or 16 QAM that deliver 100 gig or 200 gig combined with 10 gig and 40 gig on a fiber. That allows our service provider customers to think about deploying different bit rates at different times where it makes sense in the network. So we take the idea of flexible ROADM technologies, flexible DWDM technologies, and then the final thing to think about is the mix of packet and OTN. And some of our customers are fully committed to OTN as an underlying infrastructure for supporting things like private line services. Others are fully committed to packet as the only way to go. But many customers think about a mix of OTN and packet, and the question then becomes, what is that right mix? And because nobody has a crystal ball that's perfect, we want to give them flexibility in being able to turn the dial on OTN and packet over time and make that choice in the future when the network demand requires that they do that. So EANTC has actually evaluated our converged solution, which includes things like our contentionless, colorless, omnidirectional flex spectrum ROADM. It includes things like super channels that are formed by taking multiple 200 gig channels and combining them together on the fiber. And it includes answering questions like how should protection and restoration be done in the network? And with EANTC, we demonstrated as an example the ability to restore traffic using OTN or to restore traffic using DWDM. And again, the important thing is to provide our customers with choice and flexibility in how they configure the network and in what mix of 10 gig, 40 gig, 100 gig, 200 gig they might have in their network, and in what mix of packet versus OTN they would have in that network. That choice gives them flexibility in terms of how they architect their network, and comfort in knowing the way they architect their network today will be a good answer 10 years from now.